Alright, everybody. So I got this set of really old Shimano rapid fire shifters. I believe these are second generation. Seems like it's a ST-M020 is the model. So it's just kind of a basic mid-range level shifter. But anyway, you've got the two, shifters that upshift and downshift there. So anyway, the earlier versions I think were a little more squared off. So back to the point, we're gonna go ahead and pull these apart. Neither one of them are really, this it sort of functions, but it pulls the cable, but it won't really, it's not holding it. This one's just kind of flopping around, so we'll go ahead and do this one first. Usually what I'll do on these, you got this cover that it attaches with this one little Phillips head screw there, but in order to get that out, the easiest way is going to be to, if you can get the shifter all the way down, hopefully, you can pull the cable out. And it's going to I'm just kind of twisting this around but it just comes through that. It's not really like the newer ones where there's a little plug you take out. This one you kind of just got to fish it through there. You also want to take off the barrel adjuster. Set that aside. Take off our Phillips screw. And then from here, this cover, hopefully there's no spiders in here. That should just slide off. And that thing's pretty grungy, but basically it functions more or less the same way as the other style. So that's where your cable goes in. So basically this, I'm going to shoot a little lube on here just so we can see what we're looking at. So this piece here is that pivots that's you can see the little teeth, this ratchet wheel. So the main part that's the issue with these is this little pawl here, and these things just get super, I can barely move it, they just get super sticky with that old grease. So we got this pawl, and then there's kind of another one that's back here. Let's see. Yeah, see it moves, but it's not even, what happens is that it should settle down and then grab hold of this next tooth position here, which it's not. So hit it with some WD-40 here. See if we can get it to start to move. This is probably the grungiest shifter I've seen in a while. So it's starting to move there, but this one is super sticky. I don't know if just WD-40 is going to fix this one. But yeah, you can see it's barely starting to move there. Probably what I would do with this one is soak it in really hot water. But essentially that's the issue on this one. Is you can see as I twist that, normally this is going to hold in place and then that'll ratchet back. So actually as you move it, this pawl here will hold it down into place, which this one's really sticky as well. Alright, so I've been working this thing over. I soaked it in really hot water with soap, dish soap, and it's definitely cleaner. It's still not catching just yet, but I kind of hold that over, and I'm getting the pawl. It's starting. You can see it's slowly returning. The main shifting pawl, and then this secondary pawl is starting to. If I hold this one over, it's slowly starting. It's movable. It's starting to return slowly, but I'm just going to keep working this for just a minute and see if we can get it back working. Everything else, this, you know, once it's in gear, the gear that drops it back down to the smaller cogs is working, and this part's nice and free. So just keep working this over. I'm just basically taking my pick, you know, and just kind of wiggle it back and forth. Sometimes if you try to force the pawl like up and down a little bit as well on that shaft, that kind of helps. There is a little clip you can take off and slide that pawl completely off, but I'm just going to try to work it back and forth. So alright, so finally got it where it's functional now. So first, this is the front shifter, so first gear, second gear. Initially I had it to where it would shift all the way up, but then it would drop all the way back. So basically you got to really get both of these pawls to where they're, you know, I basically got to where you can actually flick them and just hear them really just rapidly click back into place there. And then kind of the same thing with this one. So really that's same with new, old, whatever. It's just these pawls here that have to be able to move very freely. That's just a really light spring there that pushes them back into place. And there was this one here as well that kind of just pivots back and forth, and work that one over as well. That just, you know, even if you can push them up and back and forth like this a little bit, that really helps free everything up as well. But I haven't even lubricated it really. I've just flushed it out with the really hot water, and that kind of melts a lot of that lubricant that turns into like a tar type wax substance. So that kind of melts that out, and then the WD-40 really kind of helps flush it through. So yeah, it's functioning now. So I basically took this piece off the main housing. You got these 4 little holes. These are pretty easy to line up because I think it will only go on there one way, just like that. So you can kind of match that profile up there in the center part, and then yeah, right there, and then it's just a little Allen bolt. This one, it never had this clear stuff peeled off. Look at that, just like new. Get that on, little screw. And then as far as lubricating at this point, you know, the green foamy finish line, Tri-Flow works really well. Something that ideally just a light oil that, you know, not like a dry chain lube type stuff that's just going to evaporate, but something that stays a little wet, that's light, tends to work the best. And this cover, it's kind of, probably have to clean that, but basically you got this little piece here that's going to fit over that little tab where the adjusting barrel threads in. So you kind of have to work it around, and then that'll sit right in place there, and then you put your little screw and then your adjusting barrel, and you're good to go. Alright, so I went ahead and got the rear one done as well. Basically it's the same process. You got the one pawl there, and then these two on the back side, these 2 ratcheting pawls. So it's kind of a, you know, but anyway, so yeah, got a matching set now. Maybe I'll sell them on eBay or something like that. Yeah, putting these back together. they're going to be the same thing there. Just put your little screw back on, and this cover, the adjusting barrel, kind of pierces that plastic thing, so it's you can't really get that off unless you take the adjusting barrel off. And you can take that out with the cable still attached, but it'll kink the cable there, so it's usually easiest just to take it out. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, anyway, hopefully this, if you've got one of these older styles, this was helpful to you. And you don't necessarily have to take this all the way off the bike. I mean, if you have one that's obviously this sticky, you know, it's nice to be able to take that off and take the cable out and soak it in some hot water, which, like I say, I soaked it in really hot water. It's just hot as the tap would put out, and I soaked it for about 5 minutes, and that definitely helped. But yeah, it just takes a little patience and working away at it. But anyway, that's gonna do it for this video, and thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.